Hey folks, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Unmasked. Today, we're going to talk some numbers. So guys, I subscribe to a newsletter that is free from a couple of guys named Frank and Brian, I believe from the National Real Estate Post, and I'll put the link down below if you want to find them. And they talk specifically to loan originators, loan officers, people that are trying to get you to get loans. Now, I listen to them because they have a pulse on the economy, on a different part of the economy when it comes to where the money is and how it's flowing. And it's a great resource for people who want to be real estate investors. Now, just a couple days ago, they put out this video where they talked a bunch of numbers. Now, I love numbers, but numbers can go over your head very quickly if they're done very fast. So let me try to do it in a way that even if you don't like numbers, you can keep up. So in America, we have approximately 330 million people. So with 331 million people in America, and there are 2.6 people on average per household, and I feel sorry for the 0.6 person that's walking around the house. Who's your 2/3 person in the house? We might have a couple of 2/3 people in my house. Anyway, out of the 331 million people, if you divide that by 2.6 on average per household, that gives you 127 million people, 127 million households. Now, out of the 127 million households, there are about 64% of them that are owned, not rented. 64% are owned. That leaves you about 81.8, I believe, almost 82 million households where people living in it own the house. Now, that doesn't mean they own it outright. That just means they have a mortgage or they own it outright, the combination of the two. So there are about 82 million people. We'll just call it 82 million. 82 million households, 82 million households where they're owned, where the person who's living in the house is paying a mortgage or they own it outright. Now, out of those 82 million households, how many people are unemployed? Now, unemployment is a percentage. You can do it as a percentage, and then it doesn't matter what number you're multiplying, whether it's the 330 million Americans or the 82 million households. So we're going to multiply it by the 82 million households. So if you say how many houses where they are owned by the people living in them have people who are unemployed in the home. If 25% of the people are unemployed, and that's about what the rate is right now, it was reported 6 days ago as 23%. I'll put the sources for everything I'm giving you down below. About 23% of people were unemployed 6 days ago. I think we're going to hit 25, maybe even 27%, maybe even higher. But I'm going with 25% because it's a pretty easy number. Out of 82 million people, that's about 20.5 million households where people are unemployed during this time. Now, I understand that the government has offered to give more money during unemployment than they normally would if you're unemployed because of COVID-19. They're offering $600 more, I believe, a week or something similar to that. So the people who are on unemployment are probably going to be okay to some degree. I just don't think they all will. So when you consider there are 20 million households where people are on unemployment, they possibly could lose their mortgage. That's just the frank truth. No pun intended, because I got the numbers from Frank and Brian. So the truth is, you've got 20.5 million households where people who are in the home are unemployed, statistically speaking. Now, that is a lot of households. Back in 2008, when we had the housing crisis, everybody said, oh, I'll just get out of it by selling the house. I wonder how many people are doing that right now, saying, you know what, we can't afford this house, let's sell it and buy something while we have the equity in the home. Because for the last several years, equity has gone up. So I would wager a guess that there are a lot of those 20 million households that are saying, you know what, let's sell it now, let's get the equity out now and move into a smaller house or something more affordable, or go to a more affordable city, so we can weather the storm, or just so we can be better off later on. If that's the case, then you also need to understand some other numbers. The housing inventory in December was 5.4 months of inventory. maybe it doesn't mean much to you, but let me give you this. 6 months of inventory for houses on sale is considered a balanced market. In December, it was 5.4. In January, it's 5.0. So that's good. It went down, which means there's probably going to be some increase in value in homes because there aren't as many for sale. But it's almost a balanced market. In February, we creeped up to 5.2, and in March, when all of the craziness happened, we went up to 6.4. We went up to 6.4 months of supply. Now that was the end of March. We've gone a whole nother month where people have been staying at home, not being able to work. Whatever money they do have, they're using. Whatever money they're getting, they're using just to stay alive, to get whatever toilet paper they can get, because we all know there's some crisis with the toilet paper. What I think is going to happen is I think there's going to be a glut of homes that are going to be put up on the market. And there are multiple people in my life who have turned to me and asked if this is a good time to sell. It depends. There's some answer. The answer to that question is it depends. If you're looking long term, short term, or if you just need the money. I know people that I manage property for that are saying, "Hey, I may not be around very long because I'm an older generation person and I could get COVID-19, and if I die, it'd be easier to liquidate the money then than to pass on the house to all my kids. What should I do? Should I sell it or should I hold on to it?" These are questions that have individual answers, so I'm not going to answer them here as a broad statement, other than you need to know what your plan is. However, if the number of houses on the market goes up and there's a drop in the amount of homes that are sold, you will have a huge glut of homes. And when you have a lot of supply and a little demand, prices go down. So do I think prices are going to go down this year? I think there's a really good possibility that here in the next couple of months we could see the market go down. During the 2008 to 2009 drop or so, when I was looking at the median house prices, it went down about 20%, and that was it. So I don't think it's going to go down that much. But I could also see that this is more unemployment than ever since the Great Depression. So there is a possibility it could hit the 20%. I don't know. It depends on how hysterical the Americans get. And so as long as you keep your head and you think things through, you should be fine. Now, for all you investors, this is the time to watch. Pay attention. I have been receiving emails from Realtor.com and Redfin.com and Zillow.com. I've been receiving information from all of these guys on houses that are sold, on houses that are for sale, and houses that are pending. This is important. Hit up a realtor and tell them to start sending you information on houses in your market. Start watching, because I've already seen some markets where the prices have come down. I've seen some prices go up in different markets as far as what it's listed for versus what it's sold. Start paying attention to that. Now, real estate is usually pretty slow, but it can sneak up on you and bite you. If you have money to put in the market and you're okay, everything's okay with you right now in the current economy, good for you, first of all. Congratulations on saving the money that you needed or being able to borrow money that you needed to be able to get a house. But pay attention, watch what's coming out on the market, because you probably will find some good buys. You will probably have some people who are desperate to sell their home, and unfortunately when it comes to emotion, people will lose their home for a much lower price, but the real estate investors are able to scoop it up also at a much lower price, which then locks in the profit for you later on. So if you're willing to buy and hold for a very long time, or to at least see it through this market, you're probably going to do very well. Now, I will tell you, I have put a stop on anything that I've invested in real estate right now to wait to see what's going to happen over the next month or so. Instead, I have put thousands and thousands and thousands into the stock market. Now, this is not a stock market channel. However, I have already seen 100% returns on several of the stocks that I have invested in, and it is just preparing me so that when the real estate market does its thing, I'm able to jump in and buy when I want to buy. So I assume there will be some houses come on the market much cheaper than they probably should, and I hope to scoop those up. But in the meantime, I'm taking advantage of the stock prices that dropped in the middle of March and have now come up 40, 50, 60% in some cases, 100% in other cases. Now, I'm not giving that as a suggestion for you to go out and buy that stock. Do your own due diligence. Pay attention to the markets, know your numbers, and be prepared because you're probably going to have good deals coming your way. I wish you the best. If you're affected by COVID-19, I hope that you'll be able to get through it, and I hope that your families will be able to get through it. Do the best you can to prepare for all these difficulties that lie ahead of us. But at the same time, a wise steward will pay attention to what's going on and be prepared to buy when it's time to buy and sell when it's time to sell. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.